Brew Strong is brought to you by Blickman Engineering, home of the top-tier brewing stand. Visit them online at blickmanengineering.com.
Brewers, it's time for the beer radio you've been looking for. This is the show that dispels myths, tackles the toughest topics, and makes no apologies for geeking out on beer. Hosted by two guys that drink before they think, Jamil Zainasheff and John Palmer. This is Brew Strong.
Hey, howdy, hey, my brewing brothers and sisters.
Greetings.
It's the Cretin himself.
Yep, I'm back and ready for more.
Yes. You know who's back and ready for more? Our good friend John Blickman. He's been backing us, and he's always back for more.
Yep.
Each and every year when it comes time to re-up his support of the show, he does. Pays for the show, so you guys don't have to. So
he always looks forward to the AHA conference, too.
He does. I enjoy immensely spending time with John Blickman. He is a funny and interesting guy. You know, he's got quite the brain on him.
Oh yeah.
And it's tied together in very interesting ways. He's you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's labeled Abby something.
Abby Normal, yes.
Yeah.
No, he's quite the character and a good guy, and he uses that incredible intellect to produce some great equipment. So he's innovating your brew day, always thinking up something new, inventing new ways of doing things, new ways of thinking of things. I mean, you look at like the beer gun. I mean, that's been around for a long time now, and people have started copying it and doing it different ways. But, when he did that, everyone was just, like, blown away because nobody even thought you could do that. They never conceived of anything like that. Yet he, thought outside the box and came up with a new way of doing it. And he's doing that constantly. And, making great products. And you've been working with him on the Anvil brewing, right? Which is sometimes people can't afford the all the bells and whistles, all the high end stuff, but they can get something that is every bit as sturdy and well built, just a little more frugally priced, and. You can get that through anvilbrewing.com. You can get the Blickman stuff through blickmanengineering.com. Well, you can get that through any of your regular stores, but you can check it all out there. And send an email to feedback@blickmanengineering.com. Tell John how much you appreciate that he sponsors the show. He's a good guy. He'll appreciate that too. He loves that. Loves meeting up with people. Somebody. Kind of accosted him somewhere, and they hung out and had beers and stuff, and he was like, yeah, the guy, he's just a wonderful guy. Exactly, that's what we're telling you.
Yep.
Can't wait to get my stuff, I think it's something to do with the shipping. I think
as a matter of fact,
I think he cares about it so much that it's
John,
traveling in covered wagon.
You can ask him yourself. John Blickman will be here. I believe it's February 20th.
20th, yeah.
Yeah, we're doing some shows, and John will be in studio here.
Can't wait to see that guy again. I got to bring my sippy cup.
You got to bring your sippy cup.
Got to bring it.
That's right.
It's a great present.
Yes. I'm looking forward to that. John is quite the entertaining guest, and always thinking outside the box. Oh, yes. Speaking of thinking outside the box.
Whose box are you in?
Nobody's at this time. I do plan on, I'm doing a lot of traveling coming up.
Oh, whereabouts?
I'm going to be gone the entire month of March. Literally. The entire month of March. 34 days on the road.
Wow.
Going to Boston. Then I'm going to Sweden. Then I'm going to the Netherlands.
Uh-huh.
Then I'm going to the UK.
Oh,
Then I'm going to Denmark. Then I'm going to Norway.
All in the same month?
No, it actually spans 3 months.
Oh, okay.
I am leaving the end of February.
I thought it was all of March. You're doing all of that.
Yes.
I was like, no.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, no. It is. Yeah, I'm leaving the end of February. I'm coming back beginning of April. I am literally gone the entire month of March.
It's pretty grueling.
Yes.
That's
but
the
it's
word.
fun.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because you meet a lot of great people, a lot of great times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really looking forward to the Fuller's collab, and another collab with my friends at Mondo. I did one with them before.
Yeah.
Not that I'm not looking forward to that one, but I'm kind of excited about the Fuller's one, and then one with Left-Handed Giant and a couple others. Again in Sweden, I'm going to do one with the good people there, and then one in the Netherlands as well. Ooh, it's going to be a long trip.
But it'll be fun.
I'm going to have to take like 2 pairs of underwear for a trip this long. 2.
3 T-shirts, yeah.
3 T-shirts. Well, yeah, let's not go crazy. But,
You are a very frugal traveler, very thrifty traveler.
Right. Well, and I travel very compact. I'm able to cram it all down in like one little wheelie.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go. One little wheelie, all I need for 34 days on the road. I figure I'll have to do laundry at least 3 times.
Yeah, I expect you will. If you're just taking 3 pair.
Well, yeah. If I took 4 pair of underwear, I really went nuts. I could probably, whittle that down to, no laundry.
Right, yeah.
Because you've got when you wear them right side out, and then you flip them around and wear them inside out, and then, you
Backwards.
let them dry on the door handle and beat the crusties off of them, and then you get like a couple more wears out of them. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think? No?
Yeah. Sounds.
All right. Why don't we get on to our topic for today?
What's that?
That is canning.
Very good.
A topic we really haven't covered. We haven't talked about
That's
cans.
true. We've
Canning.
talked some about bottles and growlers and kegging.
Right.
Cans are a bit new. They're kind of new for a lot of craft brewers out there. A lot of breweries are looking into those as new option, or maybe I suppose some are looking at them as the only option.
Yeah, there are breweries that just can and don't do any bottles. Which the cans are becoming much more popular. It wasn't very long ago when I was like, well, I'm going to put beer in cans, and people are like, oh, I don't know about that. Cans are a hard sell. Nobody really wants beer in cans. Everyone prefers bottles. I kept hearing that, and I'm just like, well, it really seems to be trending to me, and seems like a good package. And now they're just like, oh, yeah, cans. Why does anybody put anything in bottles? Always, you can't trust the people, in the environment around you. You have to just, understand what's going on and make your moves.
Right.
Otherwise, I would have been in cans much earlier, I think. It's just, just one of those things. Everyone's telling me, oh, no, 12-ounce glass 6-packs. No, I don't think so.
So when did you first have it in the can?
When did I first have it in the can? When did I first enjoy it in the can? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
It's been maybe a year and a half or something like that.
Okay.
For our products.
Mm-hmm.
We're using a cask 35 can a minute canning line. It's a little slow for us, but we're able to run it quite well and get low low oxygen levels. So
that's really important. Yep.
Yeah, one of the things about cans and canning is that there's no small run can producers anymore. There was a time when I believe it was Crown would do as small runs of cans for you, especially if you added it up to make a full truckload.
Oh, okay.
So a full run of cans, the smallest that Ball will do is about 208,000 cans. It's about 7,500 cases, something like that.
And is that because of the artwork involved, or?
It's just because of the types of machinery, changing out the stamper. It's these rubber pads that transfer the ink onto the cans. There's one for each color. And they have to stop this high-speed manufacturing line in order to change that out, scrape all the inks out of there, get all the color gone, load up the new ink, load up the pads. They have to start it up again, make sure everything registers properly. So the way they do the colors is, they're not touching. They're
right.
They're separate. This is all wet ink, and so they need to get them all perfectly registered. And then once that's done, then they're set to go. So it takes time for them to change over, and because of that, if they were changing over, frequently, it's cost prohibitive. But Crown used to do it, and then they just told all their customers, "Sorry, we're not doing that for you anymore. We're not working with any small craft brew people anymore. Just cut them off." Mm-hmm. So a lot of people end up out of cans. Getting can production time is getting tricky too, because everybody's doing cans. But people go, "Oh well, I'll just get blank cans and put labels on them." It's like, well, you can. They think they're going to save a ton of money. The cost of a printed can versus the cost of a blank can, they're about the same. There's almost no difference. The majority of the cost is the can itself, not the printing on it. And so, and then if you want to put a label on it, one, it's hard getting the labels to look good, get them all on perfectly. The other is that the labels will cost you, more than the can did.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. So, your can is going to cost you something like, 10 or 11 cents. The lid costs you about that amount too, and then that's it.
Yeah.
A label of that size, in order to cover a full can and wrap it, is going to be probably that much, especially in smaller runs.
So how does that compare to the cost of a raw bottle?
Much cheaper than a bottle.
Oh.
Yeah. Cans are far cheaper than bottles. Bottles, you still have your label, you still have your crown cap, all that. A printed can, you pretty much have that in the lid and you're done. So, and then for carriers, for a 6-pack glass carrier, that's fairly pricey, especially with the printing on it. Versus with cans, you can use the PackTech, the snap-on PackTech, the little plastic rings that snap over the tops and cover the cans.
Yep.
Those will run you about 25 cents a piece when you buy them by the pallet. So, there's, considerable savings in going to the cans. Plus, the great advantage of cans is that they ship fairly dense. There isn't a lot of wasted space with cans. So you can get more onto a pallet and, save on shipping costs when you're shipping your beer around.
So it does make it pretty enticing for the new brewer.
Yeah, except for the $210,000 or 208,000 can order minimum. Yeah, just so they ship on special plastic pallets and then slip sheets between the layers of cans so that the depalletizer can get the cans off, right?
Okay.
in a truckload of cans, you have about $3,000 in pallet and slip sheet deposits. So, just for the deposits on that stuff.
Is that not a cost then for bottles? Or?
Huh?
Is that not a similar cost for bottles then?
No. Bottles, they'll charge you for pallets. They'll charge you for, a little bit more for putting them in boxes and things like that. But, you don't have quite that deposit. Now, you can get this money back by returning the materials to the canning plant. But it is something you need to worry about. But even then, you're a few $1,000s into your artwork production, and then you're, $20,000 into an order of cans. Really adds up. Then you need to buy your lids. So just to get started on your initial first order of cans, you're over $30,000.
Oh, okay.
So now that'll do 7,500 cases. So that's not the end of the world. But if you don't have that kind of money, that's why people start up doing these, wrapping labels on cans and stuff like that, because the initial outlay is just so huge. But they're throwing away a lot of, margin when they do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Just one of those things. Tell you what, should we take a short break? And when we come back, we'll talk more about cans and canning and having it in the can, enjoying it in the can, all that stuff.
Sounds good.
I've seen Chris White enjoy it in the can.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Every once in a while, he'll crack open a cold frosty one in a can, enjoy it. He likes it in the can. What makes all that tasty beer is yeast. And, the White Labs Vault, they have yeasts that you normally don't have access to. They have so many different yeasts that you've never seen. They'll do their tests there in their lab and do some little trial brewery runs, and then they'll pick out, like a dozen or more yeasts that you've never seen before. They'll put that in the vault. And then you can go there and kind of vote with your, and say you'll buy this yeast if they produce it. And then when they get enough people, I think it's 250 pre-orders for the yeast, they'll go ahead and do a run of it, and then you get that yeast. And you can see the yeasts that are being offered with by going to whitelabs.com/thevault and check out the current list and pre-order the yeast you want. If you see something great on there, get on social media, tell everybody, hey, this is the yeast you should be using. Here's the history behind it, here's the story, or, this is a, great yeast to make this or that. Get your homebrew club, whatever, and check it out. It's lots of fun. I mean, it's over 20 years of work in collecting all these yeasts, and they've got some doozies in there. And again, it's your chance to access things that nobody else gets to access, so it's kind of fun. All right, short break, and when we come back, more about cans and canning after this.
Are you looking for a simple brewing system that's great for all grain brewing, but everything on the market seems to be full of compromises? Blickman Engineering has the answer. The Blickman Brew Easy All Grain Brewing System. The Brew Easy is a complete system with easy upgrades and a beautiful compact design, perfect for any size brewing location. At its core, the Brew Easy is built on two gorgeous Blickman Boilermaker brew kettles, a high-temperature March pump, and either a top-tier gas burner or the new Boil Coil electric heater. The Brew Easy adapter lid allows the pots to stack on top of each other, forming an efficient, strong, and compact brewing setup that comes in 5, 10, and 20-gallon batch sizes. Upgrade your Brew Easy system with full automated control by adding a Blickman Tower of Power temp controller, and make moving around easy with the Blickman Kettle Cart. The Brew Easy is modular. If you already own a Boilermaker kettle, you can build your Brew Easy by purchasing just the modules you need. The new Brew Easy all-grain brewing system. See it today at BlickmanEngineering.com and brew with Blickman quality on your new Brew Easy. Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
Hey guys, what'll it be?
I'm not sure. What do you recommend?
A lot of people seem to like the Hefeweizen.
Is that a German Hefeweizen or more of an American-style wheat beer?
I'm not sure, but I can give you a taste.
Okay, great.
The Cicerone certification program certifies and educates beer professionals in order to elevate the beer experience for consumers. Unfortunately, not every bar is staffed with certified beer servers who can guide their customers through a beer list.
Here you go, guys. Let me know what you think of the Hefeweizen.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely more of an American wheat. But I can hardly tell because this beer just smells like sour butter. I wonder how long it's been since they cleaned the draft line.
Yeah, and look at the bubbles on the side of the glass. It's filthy.
Somebody should tell these guys about the Cicerone program.
For sure. How about we head somewhere else for another beer?
Your server should give beer the same respect you do. Request quality. The Cicerone certification program offers 4 levels of beer certification, in-person classes, and course books for beer professionals. Check them out at cicerone.org. The Cicerone certification program. We know beer.
Back to the beer guys that make other beer guys look like wine guys. Brew strong.
All right, we're back. We're talking cans and canning and all the canning things you can care about.
So has canning technology improved markedly in the last 20 years? Is that part of the reason for the resurgence, or what do you think?
I think it's a big part of it is the small canning line, the availability of small canning lines. Because previously, the only and small bottling lines, small canning lines or canning lines, are $1 million. And they've made them smaller and more, craft friendly since then. And now you can get a canning line for $150 instead. So
okay.
You can get more manual and basic canning lines for cheaper and cheaper. And so that has kind of opened it up to smaller breweries. I think one of the things about cans is that it opens you up also to areas where bottles are not welcome. You can go to beaches and things like that.
Ballparks.
Ballparks. There
Pools.
So I think that's given the kind of the focus of society today with some outdoor activities and things like that. People, and they want to bring their craft beer with them. I think that's helped a lot as well. Mm-hmm. And can technology itself has improved. Back in the day, there were these rusty metal cans that tasted like metal. Well, not today. They have a high-tech epoxy coating on the inside that protects the beer from contact with the metal. And so you don't taste metal with cans these days. I remember we were on Brewing Network and talking about it, and I don't know if Justin's like, oh, no, cans taste metallic. And it's like, no, don't think so. not today.
And they're all BPA free too, right?
No. So, while they don't purposely add BPA, right, that it becomes BPA incidental. It's like or non-intentional. They have a different kind of. So, BPA exists in so many things. It's out there. It's in you'll find it everywhere.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up.
And so while they don't purposefully add it, it could be in what something else that you're using to make your beer, and it could end up, in there.
Trace amount.
So you're right. So these minor amounts could be in there. If what you're looking for is absolutely zero, then it's hard for that to be the case. So what they're doing now is they have a registry where anything that could possibly have BPA in it is being registered, and there's signs up everywhere. So it's going to be like the whole Prop 65 thing in California, where the signs have become meaningless because you see them absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, on everything.
Yeah, it tells you everything is going to kill you or, give you cancer. And so you stop paying attention to them. So, the same sign that you put up because, somebody farted in the room is the same sign that you'd use when there's like a pile of nuclear waste laying at your feet.
Pick your poison.
Right. So that's the problem is, it's become like that. But they are working on reducing the BPA from all packaging, I think, for water bottles and bottle caps and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's really a pretty benign substance. It's just like so many things, they test it until they find out it a very minute or a huge maximum level in the lab animal that does cause cancer, and then now
I gotta imagine you could run enough ice cream through a lab rat, and it would show you that it causes cancer. So, or some sort of issue.
Die of a brain freeze, one or the other.
Right.
Everything does to some extent. It's just how much it takes, and
the water will kill you. A teaspoon of water will kill you.
Yeah, have you guys heard of dihydrogen monoxide? I hear if you submerge in too much of it, you can drown.
Yes.
That's pretty gnarly, man. We're serving
can,
this to our children in schools.
It can be toxic. God. All right, so we're talking about cans. All right, BPA. What else do you want to know about cans, John?
Well, it was my understanding that that the oxygen levels, the in cans, was harder to control than in bottles. And so that was another reason that bottles were supposed to be superior for packaging beer.
Well, that's interesting. It is easier. Well, depends on the machine you're using. If you're using like a Maheen, your bottle oxygen levels, the lowest you ever can get is like 100 parts per billion. But they can be like 3,000. They can be off the charts.
Really high.
But if you use something that's a little more modern filler, you can get the oxygen levels down to 15 parts per billion. So it's just a much more expensive machine. Nothing necessarily wrong with the Maheen. It's just there's a machine for under $100,000. If you want to get your oxygen levels lower and your fill levels more accurate, well, then there's the machine for $500,000 or millions of dollars. One of the advantages to a bottle is that the opening at the top is very narrow. So as you purge out the air with CO2 and fill the bottle, you're getting less oxygen that's hitting the surface of the beer, and less chance of more oxygen getting in there. Right? On a can, it's a wide open top. I mean, that whole lid is off, and the can top is straight up along the sides. And even though you want to flush it with oxygen, you're gonna pick up more oxygen in there. No matter what you do, it's going to be more oxygen than a bottle, unless there are some that will kind of seal it, pressurize it with gas, and purge it, and then fill it kind of counter pressure. I've seen some of those. I don't know how well those work. But just on our cask canning line, we're able to get air down to about 35 parts per billion. 15 on the bottling line, 35 to 50 on the canning line, which is still good. but yes, the bottle will be lower. The advantage that cans have is once that can is sealed, hermetically sealed, it's got kind of a gasket material inside the lid, and then it gets folded over to a point where once it's sealed, and also the can being kind of flexible, as temperatures go up and down, you're not getting a pull of oxygen or air into that can. Whereas crown caps, the seal on a crown cap can potentially, as the bottle chills down, it could pull in air past that crown cap. There is more potential for further oxidation in the bottle after the fact.
When you say pull in, do you mean diffusing in or actual leaking in?
Well, leaking is possible.
Okay.
The diffusion through that material, it depends on the material that's used, I'm sure.
Okay.
But as far as, cans better sealed once get more oxygen in cans before they're sealed. Once they're sealed, you get better stability than you do in bottles.
Okay.
Plus, no light is hitting your beer. Brown bottles, everyone's like, oh yeah, brown bottles. But even then, beer can become skunked with enough light in brown bottles.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What about, did you go over heat and how that affects beer between glass and cans?
In terms of oxidation potential?
I mean, you never want that to happen, obviously.
Right.
But
well, you can have heat staling. Cans are not a good insulator. But the advantage there is, glass isn't that great an insulator. It's a better insulator than the thin metal can, but I'd say keep your beer cold at all times anyways.
Right.
But the nice thing about cans is, they'll chill down quicker than bottles. So that's another advantage there. Of course, I guess they'll warm up quicker than bottles too.
They stay colder longer, but they still, once they're heated, they're...
Sure. What else about cans?
Is there any weight savings in in selling the beer?
Oh yeah, tremendous. A case of cans versus a case of glass bottles, it's a huge weight difference. I mean, with cans, you're shipping essentially just beer, very little material.
Right. Okay.
Whereas with bottles, you're shipping a lot of glass weight.
Yeah, and I guess that in terms of now, do you sell cans overseas?
We do. Initially, there was some, hesitation from some of them saying, "Oh, no, people don't drink beer in cans in this country." It's like, well, now they do. Just took a little bit of time. Everyone's going to go there. Everyone's, every country's going to start, using cans because they're familiar with them. They're not aware of, there's a stigma about cans in the past about being, mass market,
cheap beer.
Cheap beer. And that gave the package a bad name. But, not so much anymore.
What about bottle conditioning? And if there's been any experiments with using cans instead?
Somebody is can conditioning. I don't know what brewer it was. I think it's one in England maybe, and they got camera approved or something as to real cask in a can.
Oh, okay. I can see why they'd want to.
Right. I think that that has
cask conditioned cans.
Right. So I recall reading something like that. I'm not sure who it is. But, I mean, any vessel that'll withstand the pressure, you can condition in the package or, carbonate in the package. So that's something that's happening as well. Another popular thing is the crowler. The large quart-sized cans.
Yeah, I've had some of those.
Yeah.
Isn't that less like parts per million in oxygen than like traditional growlers, obviously?
Oh, I guarantee you it's way more.
It's way more?
Yes.
More.
I guarantee you it is off the charts more oxygen in a crowler than in a regular growler.
Really?
Yes.
Why is that?
Well,
if it's hermetically sealed.
It's getting in there before you seal it. That's the problem.
They don't purge it somehow before...
It's like the difference between filling a bottle and filling a can. That's the reason the bottles have less oxygen in them, is because the opening is narrow. So if you treat both the same, if you have a narrow opening growler and a wide open can, a crowler, and you purge both and then fill both, I guarantee you the growler has far less oxygen than the crowler. The crowler could be like 300 parts per million, and what you want is in the billions. You want tiny amounts, and the problem is you fill this thing up. It's got a large surface area, and it's picking up oxygen that whole time. And then when you put the lid on it, you're just packing in a ton of air.
Yeah.
Crowlers are not a good package. I know everyone loves them.
Yeah, they're trying to...
They're so excited about them. I would say the advantages are it's cheaper than a growler, but it still costs over $1 for a crowler and the label and all that.
Well, then technically you can only use it once.
Right. You can only use it once, and it gets
So is it really
recycled.
that... I guess if you're in a faraway place where you're staying in somewhere where you're never going to go back...
Right, a glass growler,
sure.
You use it many times. People talk about the recycling of the crowler, but the ultimate recycling is reuse.
Yeah.
So the glass growler are reused many times and actually are more environmentally friendly from that aspect. If you're going to a park or something like that, a crowler is probably a much better, or a beach or something like that where they don't allow glass vessels. Yeah, a crowler would be a better choice there.
Yeah.
But
in short term, that oxygen doesn't make a whole lot of difference.
It'll happen pretty quick, but keep it cold, drink it within a week. That's the rule on growlers and should be on crowlers as well. Yeah,
but I mean, I'm
really
thinking more like in a day or 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Try and drink it right away. It's just fresh beer. And think about a crowler. It's like pouring a pint, putting a lid on it, and then the other thing about it is, if you're looking at growlers, I mean, we've looked at it, and we might start doing it just to make people happy, as long as they understand that they're not getting. People are imagining it's filled and sealed like a can, but it's not. It's not.
It's not. And why is that? What's the difference between that? Why is that?
The way of filling it, and the machine that we use to fill cans, and how they're purged, and how they very quickly with gas under the lid and get sealed up right away within moments, versus filling something that takes a long time off of a faucet, and then putting the lid on, and putting it under the machine and getting it sealed. The other thing about these sorts of things is we fill so many growlers and so fast. We have 3, 4, 5 people filling growlers at the same time. If there's one of these machines which costs you $4,000 for these machine, the seaming machine, it ends up being a backlog unless you get multiple machines. With growlers, anybody can spin a cap on with their fingers. So that's kind of but if they're popular and people want them, that's fine. I just don't think it's not as good a quality product as the glass growlers.
I think it's definitely a very situational thing. Let's say you're going hiking and you want to bring some beer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And all of one kind of beer, and they don't sell it in 6-packs.
Right.
But they do crowlers. Yeah,
sure.
Throw that in your backpack.
For me, again, I like the reusable thing. So I'd say maybe a double wall stainless, especially if you're backpacking, help keep it cool.
Yeah.
Because especially backpacking, unless you find a nice cool stream somewhere, some snow, you can stick it in.
I love that.
That's
great. Yeah.
You can stick it in the snow. You love that?
I love sticking it in the snow.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Jamil, do you know of anywhere in the country that allows the filling of, non-company containers?
Oh, sure. You mean, like
so, like you take your double-walled flask into a brewery. I mean, I think here in California we can't do that. Is that correct?
No, you can do it.
It depends on the brewery. Some people don't like it because they don't want someone else's label on their beer.
Well, you can't allow someone else's label on a beer that you're packaging. That's what the law is. So the law in California is you fill any container you want. You can fill a garbage pail if you want. As long as you know the volume and it's marked properly with the volume and the government warnings, you can put whatever you want in it. You need to make sure that you block out anyone else's labeling. We were hesitant to do that at first because I didn't want to cover over somebody else's label. However, some painter's tape, that's what we cover over growlers with other markings on it. And then you put your own marking on it. You put your own label or your own hang tag or whatever so that it's properly labeled with the brewery, what the brand is, what the alcohol content is, and the volume of the container. As long as you do that, California is fine with it. So there's no reason that a brewery cannot fill another container. The only reason you may not be able to is, for example, I filed to fill 32 ounce, 64 ounce, and 128 ounce containers. So quart, half gallon, and gallon. And I also did liter, 2 liter, 4 liter. Somebody came in with a 3 liter one day. I'm like, I can't fill it. And they're like, well, why not? I'm like, because I didn't file for 3 liter. I didn't think that such a thing even existed.
It's an odd
size.
measurement.
I'm sorry, I can't do it for you. I ended up giving the guy one of our growlers. I'm like, sorry, here's a 2 liter one. Well, I'll give it to you for free.
There you go. Yeah.
Because I'm not in the business of, I'm not trying to stop anybody from using whatever container they want. It's just there are certain legal things you do have to do. But, as long as you cover over, you can't. I've seen some places where they'll just slip the other brewery branded growler in a paper bag or something like that. That's not allowed. That's not allowed. It has to be something that doesn't just slip off or fall off. It has to be something that, you'd have to work at taking off so that accidentally somebody doesn't come along and, drink from something, that's completely different. That isn't the right, I don't know how they're getting damaged, but California is worried about that. So, but yeah, it's fine to fill other containers. All right. Speaking of containers, have you seen the Craft Brew?
I have not seen it with my own eyes.
Have you touched it?
I haven't touched it.
Have you felt it? Have you smelt it?
No. God, I wish.
Smelt are small fish that live in the Great Lakes.
Is that why they say whoever smelt it dealt it? Delta-id?
No.
Delta-id?
No. There's also Delta smelt.
Tributary, yeah.
There's Delta smelt, too.
Delta smelt.
So, yeah, whoever dealt it, smelt it, or smelt it and dealt it. Yeah, that's right. Well, the folks at Craft Brew, they've come up with a new conical fermenter called the Catalyst. It's compact. It's got a nice lightweight stand that will allow you to put this on your countertop, in your fermentation fridge, wherever you want. The plastic that it's made out of, I know a lot of you are like, oh, no plastic for me. It's all scratchy. Nope. This is 90% more scratch resistant than other plastic conicals, 71% less oxygen permeable. So I tell you, I think it would be fine to ferment in. I don't see any issues with that. It's got a large snap-on lid that allows you to get in there and do proper cleaning and inspection of the thing. It's got a giant 3-inch butterfly valve on the bottom, so you can screw on any mason jar and do your trub dump or do your yeast cropping for your next batch. Really slick. They thought this thing out. Lightweight, maneuverable, I believe you can heat this thing up past boiling, and if you can, doesn't matter how scratched up it would be, you could sanitize this thing every time, pasteurize it, and ready to rock and roll. So pretty cool. They even have some homebrew versions of things like the Stone Pale Ale, and you can check it out on the products of their website to kits to do their in the conical whatever. I'm losing my mind. But you can learn more at craftabrew.com. All right, let's take a short break. When we come back, we will have more about cans and canning right after this.
If you work in retail sales, the restaurant industry, or are a new craft beer enthusiast, or you know someone who is, you have got to check out Beer 101. Beer 101 is an online course created for anyone wanting a quick introduction to the vast world of craft beer. Beer 101 covers the history of beer, brewing ingredients and processes, vital stats like ABV, SRM, IBU, and gravity, styles, tasting, glassware, and pairing beer with food. The Beer 101 course is offered by the Brewers Association at craftbeer.com. Also home to the truly awesome Beer Style Finder, a visual guide to every beer style. Quickly play with color, bitterness, and alcohol content to interactively explore the entire world of beer styles with a gorgeously designed interface to your favorite beverage. The new Beer 101 course and new Beer Style Finder are only available at craftbeer.com. Craftbeer.com, celebrating the best of American beer. Hey there, BN Army. Have you heard the latest at Hop Tech? Since Hop Tech has doubled in size after a huge expansion, Jade and Roberto can stock even more of the best quality homebrewing supplies and equipment. Over 60 kick-ass varieties of hops and malts, monster truckloads of quality brewer's yeast, including White Labs, Y-yeast, and multiple dry yeasts. They even have all grain systems from Grainfathers and Ruby Street Brew Systems, thanks to Jade, the brand new all-grain brewer. And don't forget about their 10% discount to all BN Army members. Jade and Roberto are waiting for you and all of your brewing questions over at hoptech.com. Hoptech, totally not sucking since 1983.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zanishev, and I want to tell you about Heretic Evil Twin. You might be familiar with my homebrew recipe, which uses massive late hopping to create a balance between the malty sweet and the hoppy bitter, along with an outrageous malt and hop character. I wanted a beer with the same bold hop and malt character, so we played around with the homebrew recipe until we were able to make a great commercial version too. We've created a beer rich in malt character, full of caramel, toast, biscuit, and an ever so subtle roast note. On top of that, we piled in an insane amount of Citra and Columbus hops at the end of the boil, as well as in dry hopping. This damn-the-cost approach to hopping gives Heretic's Evil Twin a great blast of citrus and tropical fruit that can't be matched by any other hop. The result is a bold, malty, hoppy, but easy-drinking beer. This is our top seller, our flagship beer, and I couldn't be prouder of it. Cheers.
To find Heretic beers near you, click on Find Some at hereticbrewing.com.
The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
Do you like beer? They make beer.
Watch out!
Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun.
Watch out!
Do you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring
Monk's Blood.
Made with real monk.
Watch out!
So why not have the best time of your life? Go to the 21A and Sean O'Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of
Monk's Blood.
The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zainashev's consent is prohibited. Suck it, JP.
The Vault, created by White Labs. The Vault is a collection of new, creative, and unique yeast strains from around the world. These strains have never been available to homebrewers. Most have not even been available to professionals. You have the power to release the yeast. Through The Vault, White Labs is giving you the power to decide which strains are put into production and giving you the opportunity to brew with these strains. Visit whitelabs.com/The Vault and pre-order the yeast strain of your choice and encourage your friends to do the same. Once 250 pre-orders have been achieved, White Labs will put that strain into production. The strain will be mailed directly to your doorstep, ready to make the beer you've always wanted to brew. This program was created with the homebrewer in mind. White Labs is relying on you to help release these strains, which may blaze the way for future new and unique beers. Help release the yeast. Visit whitelabs.com/The Vault.
Back to the two guys that know how to turn beer into beer. This is Brew Strong.
All right. Oh, we were talking about the AHA during the break.
Yeah.
Pornographic Steven and I. And that reminded me of how great the Brew Guru app is. You go to all your common places for getting apps. Look for the Brew Guru, which is done by the Homebrewers Association. And you can get that at the Google Play Store. You can get it on the iPhone App Store. And it's free. Even if you're not a member, it's free. Download it, give it a quick whirl, and you're going to see how it'll quickly guide you to discounts for AHA members at homebrew shops and at brew pubs and restaurants and all that. Very cool. Plus, they've got information there. They've got some curated articles that are that they make available through the app. So if you're on the train or something, want to do some reading, fire right up. And it is a sweet, quick working app, I would say. How's that for great read? Yeah.
Very fine database.
Right. Yes. It pulls its data from the Brewers Association database, so it's got all the great breweries and stuff in there. And it works a treat. I was very impressed with how quick and snappy it was and not a bunch of bloatware. I liked it.
It's been very handy on my travels.
Yeah, there you go. You can find out closest place to you, and the closest place to you that's going to give you a discount, so you pay for your AHA membership with just hitting those places and saving yourself a ton of money. It always paid for mine. I was thrilled. The AHA membership. All right. Any last thoughts about cans you want to know, John? Anything else? What have I not been talking about?
Let's see. We've talked about oxygen levels. We've talked about the cost of materials. We've talked on the cost of the machines. I guess in terms of machines, you're saying that basically you get what you pay for in terms of, they're inexpensive, smaller canning machines. And then larger, more expensive systems with better controls and so on. Kind of just same really as bottling lines.
Right, sure. The trickiest thing on cans for quality is getting the seams correct. So we have all the latest technology. We've got a seam saw and cameras that'll measure, the folds in the seams. We check every seam. Like somebody with OCD, we check our seams like every 50 cans, which generally you check them like every 1,000 cans or 1,000 cases or whatever. We check them every 50 cans because I'm not ever letting a bad seam out.
That's quality control right there.
So it takes more labor, but, it really is important. So, but that's one of the things, if you don't check them frequently, the things can travel out of spec and you can be in trouble pretty quick.
Do these parameters tend to tend to wander as day to day as during a run, or is that kind of an anomaly?
They will wander. They will wander on you if you don't have something like a good stable supply of air pressure, because a lot of these things are actuated by air. You may not get quite as good a seam, so you have to be careful of things like that. The lovely folks at Anheuser-Busch have helped us get our seams at the very beginning. From the very start, they helped us get everything dialed in on our machine and checked our cans on their seam equipment. And that's why we decided to buy our own seam camera and seam saw.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they're wonderful folks and helped us dial it in to their specs, which, they get some tight specs there.
Yeah.
So, brewers help brewers. That's the way we all are. Doesn't matter which brewery you work for. They're good people there. Yeah. Anything else?
No, I think that was a really good show.
Well,
yeah.
I think we have one more break.
We totally do.
Right. And I wanted to tell you about Grog Tag.
Oh.
Homebrewing is all about expression. You make the beer the way you want it, taste the way you want it to. Why not make it look the way you want it to? And Grog Tag, you can make that dream a reality. You can have professionally looking labels for your beers. That I saw JP peel off a label off of a growler. He goes, "Yeah, I've had it on there for 3 years or whatever." And stuck it right back on. These are high quality labels. It's not like you peel it off and all the ink runs off on your hands. This thing was amazingly durable. I was shocked. So it's like I don't know how many uses you could get out of it, but you could slap that back on another bottle or reuse that bottle. He had it on a growler, and it's pretty cool. They have custom bottle caps, metal signs, coasters, even tap handles. Just to make all your brew stuff look sexy. If you're going to make a friend of mine, when talking about, how do you, I was asking him how he chose a helmet for, motorcycle riding. And he's like, well, because if your brain is worth $10, then you put on a $10 bucket on your head. He goes, if it's worth more to you, then you get the nicest helmet you can get. Yeah, same thing, if your beer's important to you, you want to dress it up. Presentation is all about it. You can hand somebody a scabby-looking bottle with bits of old label stuck on it, or you can hand somebody a bottle with a nice Grog Tag label on it. Which one are they going to be more impressed with? Which one are they going to give your beer more chance of tasting good? That's going to be the one with the Grog Tag on it. So go check it out. They have a special deal going. If you go to grogtag.com and enter the code January 17, JAN17, JAN17, and take 10% off your next order at grogtag.com. So check it out. All right, short break. When we come back, we'll wrap up right after this.
Brewing great beer is a process of continuous learning, and the best books on every aspect of brewing can be found at Brewers Publications, with more than 50 awesome titles like Modern Homebrew Recipes by Gordon Strong, Designing Great Beers, the Ultimate Guide to Brewing Classic Beer Styles by Ray Daniels, American Sour Beers, Innovative Techniques for Mixed Fermentations by Michael Tonsmeyer, For the Love of Hops, The Practical Guide to Aroma, Bitterness, and the Culture of Hops by Stan Hieronymus, and Radical Brewing, Recipes, Tales, and World-Altering Meditations in a Glass by Randy Mosher, plus many, many more. These are the books and the authors with the knowledge to push your brewing farther than you thought possible. And you'll find them all at fine homebrew and book retailers everywhere. And visit the website at brewerspublications.com. Brewers Publications, all the best on beer and brewing. Your support of the Brewing Network means everything to us. We couldn't produce shows without you. And we love giving you something extra for that support, like
Brew Your Own magazine. You already know it's a great brewing magazine full of recipes, equipment how-tos, discussions of beer styles, and brewing techniques. Whether you're new to brewing and just starting out or you're an old pro, you'll always learn something from the articles in Brew Your Own. Plus, their amazing special issues like plans for building a Brutus 10 system, 250 classic clone recipes, and the Homebrewer's Answer Book. Brew Your Own magazine and BYO.com are awesome resources for any brewer, whether for yourself or as a gift. When you subscribe or resubscribe from the Brewing Network homepage, you directly support programs like this. Get a great magazine and support the Brewing Network. Subscribe to Brew Your Own right from thebrewingnetwork.com.
Learning to brew has never been so disgusting. This is Brew Strong.
We had wild success here in the studio during the break. We were able to kill the giant fruit fly. But, so big you could hear his wings flapping.
You got the host queen. Huh?
Yeah, you thought it was like some sort of audio hum in the back. No, that was the fruit fly.
Yeah.
Killed him. Dead. Well, and on that happy note, on that happy note, have you heard about Adam and Eve? They are determined to help you spice things up in the bedroom. They are backing that promise up with a great offer. If you go to adamandeve.com, you're going to get 50% off almost any one item when you enter the offer code Jamel at checkout. That's a good deal in and of itself, but for a limited time only, you're going to also get a free Big O kit. And who doesn't love the Big O? Well, Adam and Eve's Big O kit includes their exclusive Climax gel and a mini vibrator. So now you've got a new way to get him or her off. What girl or guy wouldn't love that? You'll also get your entire order sent to you for free. So free shipping. You get half off the one item. You're not paying any more than half off the one item. Free shipping and the Big O kit, all for free. Just use the offer code Jamil, Jamil, at adamandeve.com. All right. We're all out of time, apparently. Time waits for no man. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you check out our fine sponsors. Especially go to blickmanengineering.com and check them out, all the goodies they got there. And send an email to our friend John Blickman at feedback@blickmanengineering.com. They're there to service your every need, is what I've heard. Speaking of servicing your need, send in your questions, your Q&A questions. You send them in to brewstrong at thebrewingnetwork.com. We'll get those, and we will coalesce them into shows where we answer your questions live on the air. And if you get show ideas, things like that, send those in too, and we tend to respond to those as well.
Always
check out
hearing from you.
Absolutely. And check out the Brewing Network store, thebrewingnetwork.com/store. All sorts of goodies in there. They got hoods, hats, T-shirts, growlers,
guitars, maracas, apparently.
They've got maracas.
No?
That's her double-fisted maraca.
No, that's how I dance.
That's her maraca shaking. All right.
Wow.
There you go. Until then, everybody, brew strong.
Brew strong.